Hi, everybody. So we've been learning a little bit about the scientific method, and I really wanted to do an experiment, but since we're at home, I'm going to do an experiment at home that I recorded a little while ago and have us use it as our scientific method experiment. So before we start that, though, I need to explain just a few things. Number one, we are looking at a tiny little seed. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. Now this seed I bought on Amazon. It's a daikon radish seed. So once the plant gets to a certain size, it will produce a fruit, or this, in fact, a vegetable that I eat and put in my salads. So it's this tiny little seed. Now, there's a process called germination, where a seed becomes a tiny little sprout. Typically, this happens out in the dirt. You plant a seed, and then over the course of a period of time, a little sprout forms. This sprout, given enough time, will turn into a plant, kind of like this. And then this will get bigger and bigger and bigger until it produces the fruit, the vegetable that I want to eat. So, knowing that about seeds, I wanted to do an experiment about what kind of surface would germinate a seed the best. Now, here's what I need you to do first, though. I need you to grab some paper and a pencil. You got to have that first, so pause this video if you don't have it. Because this experiment is going to take several days, and I've condensed it into one little video, but you're going to need to write down your information, and you won't remember it unless you've written it down. So, piece of paper and a pencil. Here's what I want you to record or to write down. You need to know what the question is. What question or observation am I making? What's my hypothesis? What is the data table or the data that I'm going to give you at the end of the experiment? Which seeds, which surface had the most germinations, the quickest? Were there any errors that I made? Because I'm definitely not perfect and there's always room for errors. So what errors did I make in the experiment? And then finally, what would be the reasons at the end? What would be the reasons why we would get the data that we got? Now, all of this information you need to, again, record for yourself, because at the end of the week, this will be your quiz grade. So make sure that you're doing a good job with getting this information. All right, now, here's my question. I wanted to know what surface would germinate my seeds the fastest. So how can I go from seed to sprout on the quickest surface? So here's what I thought. I would try a coffee filter, like an old-time coffee pot, a used tea bag, because I drink tea every night, a little pot with dirt, or a paper towel. Now I'm going to put the seeds on this, and you're going to see it in a minute, the actual procedure for the experiment. And it will show us the steps that I took, all the variables that were involved, how I controlled the experiment. If you want to mark down what you think is the independent and dependent variable, like on your notes, then do that, because you were probably going to be asked that this Friday. Okay, so my question. What surface causes seeds to germinate the fastest? Here's what I guess. Here's my hypothesis. If I germinate seeds on different surfaces, then the tea bag will cause the fastest germination because it holds water best. So if I germinate a bunch of seeds on a bunch of different surfaces, I think that the tea bag is going to germinate the seeds the fastest. We'll see. Okay, stay tuned. Make sure that you are writing this information down. Take notes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is keep this as controlled as I can. So I'm only going to use 3 seeds for each of the surfaces. I take my little seeds. By the way, these are radish seeds, little radishes that you put in your salads. Okay, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 on that one. I'm going to open my tea bag. and put in 3 seeds there, and then 3 in my dirt. Now in my dirt, I'm gonna push them down just slightly and cover them with a little bit of the dirt. Okay, and then 3 in my paper towel. Remember, a controlled experiment is only changing one factor, one variable. Maybe you can guess which one it is. All right, so I've got my seeds. I'm gonna fold this over here on my surfaces. Now I know that plants need water. They need water in order to live. It's part of photosynthesis. They take water in order to make glucose, their food. So I've got my measuring spoons and just some warm water from my tap. I'm gonna take a tablespoon of water. I'm gonna put a tablespoon on my coffee filter, a tablespoon on my tea bag. Uh-oh, my seeds came out. Put it back in there. A tablespoon in my little pot of dirt, and another tablespoon on my paper towel. Okay, again, same amount of water, same number of seeds, same kind of seed. Now the other thing that I will do, but I forgot to bring out, is put these into baggies. So I'll do that after I stop the video. I'm gonna put each one in an individual baggie. That way it will trap the water inside the baggie, and we'll have the water cycle taking place. That way I don't have to water them every day. The other thing I'm going to do is check them every day to see if we have any germination, because that's what our hypothesis is, or our question is, which surface is going to germinate the seeds quickest? I think it's the tea bag. What do you think? Stay tuned. Now, today again, day 2 of them kind of hanging here in the light in my little sunroom. We're gonna take a look. All right, now, I did several trials. So I did 4 different trials, because if you do one, maybe it was just a fluke for those results. So I did it 4 different times, the same way that I showed you in the procedures, so that we could see if there was something that was repeatable. It happened over and over and over again. Okay, now, you notice that up here is my coffee filter, my tea bag, my little pot with dirt, and the paper towel. Now, interestingly, on all of these, none of the seeds have germinated. None of the seeds have germinated. Trial 1. Trial 2, though, let me take this down. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Trial 2. Can you see this little thing right here? Maybe not. Maybe we'll bring the camera closer. Let's see. Trial 2, we are seeing that this seed right here has germinated. Right here. So my cameraman, I'm going to take the camera and bring it real close. Whoops. Do you see that little sprout? Okay. This one, nothing's germinated. This little teapot or pot with soil, nothing's germinated. Over here, nothing's germinated. Down here, nothing's germinated. In here, nothing's germinated. But look at that. In here, I don't know if you can see it or not, we've got 2 little seeds that have sprouted, and they've got mold growing on them. Turn it like this. And then our last one, nothing sprouted. Okay, trial 4, and I lost my pot down here. I have another sprout. We need to go down. Okay, down here, another sprout on the coffee filter. Trial 4. My tea bag, nothing sprouted. I don't have a little pot. It somewhat got lost. And then my paper towel, nothing sprouted. Okay. Here's what we need to mark down as data then. Day 2, 2 of the 4 coffee filters have sprouted their, have germinated their seeds. Only 1 of the little pots of dirt sprouted a seed. And they sprouted 2, but it's got mold all over it, which is kind of gross. So I think what we're seeing is that the coffee filters are the fastest germination, which is not what I expected at all. Science! Okay, stay tuned. We'll do this again in another couple of days. Hello. Today is day three of our experiment. And I wrote on my baggies up here just to make it a little bit easier for myself. So you can see, I think, that on each of the baggies I wrote 6/11, which is June 11th, which was yesterday, and how many seeds sprouted. And then today is June 12th, and on this day in this bag, there are no more that are newly sprouted. So my data I'm collecting then is the new sprouts each day. So I made this little graph here, my data table, I mean. And you can see I've got the days listed on the left, the different substances on the top, and then the number of sprouts per day. So yesterday we had 4 sprouts in the coffee, 4 in the little pots, and 1 in the paper towels. Today I have 1 new one in my coffee, and then 1 new one in my little pot. But on my paper towels I have 4 new ones. So remember, the idea was, or the question was, which surface will sprout or germinate the seeds the quickest? And I think we already have seen that it's between the coffee pot or the coffee filter and the little pot with soil, and they are honestly the same. Hi everybody. So today is day 5, and I'm done recording my data, but I needed to show you the actual results of this experiment. So hopefully you've written everything down so far. Make sure to write the data down. You have to write this down. So if you have to pause the video, fine, but record the data. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you, and I kind of set it up in a data table for you. So let's look. Here were the results of our experiment. On the top, I have the number of new germinated seeds. So I didn't want to count the same seeds over and over again germinating, so I just counted the number of new ones each day that germinated. And here I have my different surfaces. Notice I've got the coffee filters, the tea bags, the pot with the soil, and the paper towels. On the left-hand side, I have the number of days that I was recording this information. So I started with day 1, and I didn't actually show you that in the video because nothing happened. Day 2, day 3, and day 4. Okay, now, day 1, coffee, 0. Teapot or tea bag, 0. Pot with soil, 0. Paper towel, 0. Nothing happened day 1. Day 2, my coffee filters, 4. Tea bag, 0. Pot with soil, 4. Paper towels, 1. Day 3. Now remember, these are the new seeds that are germinated. I didn't count these again. Okay, so day 3, coffee filter, 1. Tea bag, 0. Pot with soil, 1. Paper towels, 4. Day 4, coffee filters, 3. Tea bag, 1. Pot with soil, 1. Paper towel, 1. Okay, now, remember, what was our question? Let me show you. What was our question? What surface causes seeds to germinate the fastest? Think about the data and relate that to the hypothesis or to the question that we had. Which surface germinated the seeds fastest? Okay, now, just a little extra fun, a little extra data that's not part of our actual experiment because it wasn't the question, it wasn't the hypothesis, but I thought it was so cool that I think you should write it down somewhere. Here it is, extra info. The total number of seeds that were germinated, period. Again, this was not part of our experiment, it's just extra. The coffee filters, out of the 12 seeds that I had tried to have germinate, 8 of them germinated. With the tea bags, only 1 germinated. The pots with the soil, 6. And the paper towel, 6. So I think the filters are the best in terms of germinating seeds. Now remember, again, that's extra. That's not what we were asking in this experiment. You'd have to do another experiment, maybe even the same way, but ask a different question and have a different hypothesis. But I just thought it was cool. Okay, you guys, please make sure you've written all of this stuff down, that you have it all, because you're going to need to write this up at the end of the week for a grade. Okay, bye.